Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me and my beautiful co-host today, Giselle, who's awesome. And I'm not sure if everyone saw the interview, but let me just say hi to Giselle and then I'll get into calling you all out. Hi Giselle, nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Daddy. How you doing?
Awesome. So we're gonna get into a little bit of talking about what we as transsexual, I guess on some level, elders of the community really feel about the Charlie Kirk stuff and what's going on in this community and how we've been trying to call this out and so forth. But before that, I just want to just put a little out there of good energy to Charlie's family, and it's just been devastating. All of us have been really struggling with this insanity and in all everywhere. But the one thing I think will happen from Charlie's horrifying murder is I see people starting to realize that we've gone way off the deep end, and that's the one of the great things Charlie will be very proud of his work for is really starting to wake people up. Sadly, he was murdered for his own beliefs. But that being said, we're going to get into that. And I want to say hi to everybody. And I want you to call you out real quick here. And then we're going to get into an awesome discussion with Giselle. So I'm just going to scroll back up really quick. And then whoever I see, just tell me again. And then I'll get back to you. So we got Florida in the house. We got Wisconsin. Awesome. Thank you for being here. We got Seattle. I think we got a lot of new subscribers, which is also awesome. So if you're new, I do like to do shout outs to the people who are coming from Willie. We've created such a worldwide environment here. It's incredible. And I think you'll really love the community that we have built. So if I missed you, just please tell me where you're from. And then I'll do that for like a minute. And then we'll get really into this amazing conversation. We got Chicago, Oregon, Belgium, Wales, Georgia, New Jersey, Louisiana, West Virginia, Tennessee, New York, Michigan, Israel, UK, told you guys, Scotland, Arkansas, Florida, UK, Oklahoma, Ireland, Virginia, Wisconsin, Florida, Spring Hill, Florida, Michigan. Isn't this amazing, Giselle? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Wyoming, Brazil, Seattle, love, Northern California, Texas, Wisconsin, New York, South Yorkshire, Hells County, Idaho, West Virginia, where my mom's from, Arizona, Las Vegas, UK, Canada, BC, Canada, California, Arkansas, Florida, Colorado, Indiana, Central Germany, Ireland, SoCal, Minneapolis, Germany, Texas, Scotland, Nevada. Today we got a full house. Indiana, Montana. Charlie Kirk would be proud. Let me tell you. Arkansas, San Diego, New Jersey, Detroit, Washington, San Antonio, North Carolina. You guys are killing me today. Houston, BC, Scotland. So I'm going to stop at Scotland, where my grandfather's from, and everybody always says, every American says that, but it's kind of funny. I see Kansas, Delaware. So, hi Giselle. Let's let you just introduce yourself to the people who don't know you, and then we'll get into a conversation.
Well, my name is Giselle. I am originally from Argentina. I have been living in the US for the past 12 years. Last year, I finally became a US citizen. I was illegal for so many years. I like I have been part of the community ever since I was 15 years old.
Wow, wow,
And yeah, ever
wow.
since I got into like adult work, I have been more in contact with more left-leaning people, and
Sure.
they are my friends. I still believe that those people are my friends and that we can all coexist, and that you shouldn't be canceled for having certain thoughts or certain opinions, and especially not killed.
Oh my God.
Basically,
Wow,
yeah.
off the deep end. So,
I,
as you know,
I,
yeah, go on.
I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said, but I don't agree with
Of
him being
course.
killed in front of his children. That's ridiculous. Like,
I don't agree with everything. And we had a full on conversation, me and
yeah,
him, and we
yeah,
literally became totally chill with each other. And it's why I talk about it all the time, because what he did is what I tried to do in a very smaller scale. And it's horrifying to me that anyone, and it's why I call him my friend. I don't agree. He doesn't necessarily agree with our lifestyle. He doesn't agree with
yeah,
my pornography space. All of that is okay. I've always been okay with that. Pornography is a very delicate conversation, as you and
yeah.
I both know. And it
Oh,
doesn't mean
yes,
that we can't still do it as adults with adults in consent space. What it
yeah,
means is children should not be seeing it. It should not be put in people's face. honestly, I don't know how you feel about this, Giselle, but I don't think it should be as easily accessible as it is today.
Porn? No, absolutely. Yeah, porn can put things in your head that you didn't have before. When you start normalizing like what we do in porn and
That's
thinking
right.
that's a lifestyle or that's love or that kind of attention is what you
That's right.
want in order to
Yes.
feel fulfilled, it's kind of dangerous because you end up in a place where your mind space is I am just a sexual object, I'm just a hole, I'm just a furry, I'm just a top. Like it's like you when you start so young with pornography, like your mindset stays stuck
Totally.
there. Like
That's
you
right.
stay stuck in that mindset. Like, oh, I'm a sissy, I'm a furry, I'm a whole like people that were like your sexuality is not your lifestyle. It shouldn't be
Yes,
like
right.
the center point of your life.
Yeah.
Even for me that I am
Yeah.
an adult worker, like
Yeah.
I am a normal person outside of my work. Like my work is my work. Giselle Driller is a fictional character,
It's a
I am
boundary.
and I am Andrea. Like I am,
Okay.
yeah.
So you
It's
have the two personas. That's what
yeah,
I want people to see. You're doing things whether they agree with it or not. They don't have to. You're doing it over here in a private space that people
yeah,
pay you as an adult, like a you're doing a service. Whether or not people believe, I understand the domination world a lot as a service to people who are adults who are dealing with some fantasy space that they do in what's called a dungeon, which is a room that's
yeah,
private, that you do whatever you do when that door is closed, and exchange this service. To me, that's a sexual therapist on
yeah.
some level, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I had in my experience working, I had a lot of people that open up to you, and they open up to you about like past
Yes.
trauma, and
Yes.
you're like, okay, I understand this person went through this trauma, and
Yes.
their way of coping is doing this, and I'm gonna
Yes.
help them do it in a safe environment and behind closed doors, you know. But
That's what
once,
it's closed.
yeah, once it turns into like public and being your lifestyle, or you trying to push it on people, even younger and younger people,
Yes.
it becomes a problem. Like
That's right.
you can
That's right.
be whatever you want. You want to be an escort, you want to be a porn star, whatever, like do it, I don't care, but do it in a safe manner, and don't be like I
It's
don't
too
know,
accessible. It
to
is too accessible to young people. OnlyFans, you can literally start uploading stuff at 18. That is wrong.
yeah,
That is
that is something I
wrong.
don't agree with, and there's people waiting for these girls or whatever to turn 18 so they can start managing them,
That's
and
right. It's
it,
actually
it
twisted. That's what Charlie said. That's why Charlie and I. So Charlie had a porn addiction. In my communication with Charlie, in that interview I had with him, he opened up and was very vulnerable with me as I was with him. And it's
yeah,
why the conversation was so great and so many people love it, because we didn't judge each other. I didn't judge him for his porn addiction, that he said that that's why he really has issues with the accessibility of porn. And I do understand that. I think some people can get very, on some level, addicted, for a lack of a better word,
oh,
to watching.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know about that. When I was like 12 years old, I was caught in school with one of my friends with porn magazines, and it was a
Yeah.
big deal. Like it was a
Yeah.
Catholic school or whatever. And
Yeah.
what I saw in those magazines when I was so young, like I think it marked me and made
Totally.
me be much more curious about like maybe mimicking those things
Yes.
that I have seen in porn, and the
Yes.
same thing when the internet started coming over. Like I was always really interested in pornography, and that's how
Yes.
maybe everything like connected. When I started being a hairstylist, most of my clients were escorts and porn stars
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and that's how I got into that world. And I don't mind. I have been in touch with that world for so long. But once you start getting into it and you start seeing
Mm-hmm.
how it's done,
Mm-hmm.
it's when you're like, oh, okay, maybe this shouldn't be romanticized that much. This
You
shouldn't be
think?
like, yeah, girl, be as soon as you turn 18, you can be a porn star and you can buy a house at 20 and be a landlord by 25. But what is the price? What is the price of giving up your
Mental.
intimacy? What is the price of not protecting your intimacy, your body?
That's
Like,
right.
everybody's talking about like gay culture, and everybody's like about like being openly sexual person, and I am a really sex positive person,
Great.
but all on the right time. Like, you can, like, now, because we have this rhetoric of like no kink shaming, no body shaming, no nothing shaming. Like, people
Great.
are
Great.
growing up
Great.
thinking that when they go out on the real world, that
Great.
the world is going to treat them like that, like they're going to treat them between cottons, and they're not going to shame them, and they can do whatever they want, and there's not going to be consequences. I think everything is going to have consequences, just like my
A
adult
hundred
work is going to
percent.
it's going to bring me consequences in case I want to do
In your
something else in the
brain.
future. But I am aware of it. I am aware. I am
But you're
38 years
rare.
old.
You're
Yeah.
rare. I just saw. I want to show you this right here. This person's normalizing degeneracy. That's what
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk said to me.
Normalizing
Normalizing.
normalizing murder.
That's right.
Normalizing murder.
So then comes from that normalizing murder, like it's okay to murder somebody because you didn't like what he said. So I want to now parlay into something here that I found this very interesting video, and I think it literally is talking about what you and I are talking about. So I want to play this piece right here with us. Let me add it. Let me add it to the stage. Oh, not that one.
My kid be taught
Listen.
the lesbian, gay.
Okay, listen to this. This is very important. Okay, so I have a lot to say about this. So here we go.
Not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school.
As an openly queer woman, I'd love to understand how Charlie Kirk calling me garbage is acceptable. For anyone who supported that man and his views is not an ally or friend of mine or many people I care about. Now, that's just one.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing and then I'm going to let you, or you could go first if you'd like, ladies first. Why don't you go first?
I think this is really hurt people that are not forgiving their parents. They're not forgiving the fact that they grew up as a white woman in a privileged position.
I love you.
I think a lot of times it's like I'm still taking revenge of my family because I grew up white and privileged. Like, and they feel so low of themselves that
Yep.
they want to go exactly the opposite of the way they were raised. And
Yep.
I have being in contact with a lot of these people that are like, oh, poor me, my daddy didn't buy me a pony when I was a kid. Oh.
It's
And
so, she sounds just like that.
and it's like, girl, like there's people that are dying. Like,
So Charlie Kirk doesn't hate LGBT. He said, I'm going to just go back so we all can be clear on what he said because it's very important. Also, remember, a lot of his stuff is being taken out of context, which really pisses me off. So, I get shit taken out of context and people say, well, Buck said this, but did you hear the whole thing? You're literally taking a piece out of what I said and you can. So I feel like they do that a lot with Charlie Kirk, right? So here, listen to what he said.
Not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school.
He didn't say gay and lesbian and transgender people are garbage. He said, I don't want my child being taught this stuff. Neither do I.
yeah, this ideology that you have to discover it yourself when you're young, when you're older. Like, look at me. Nobody
That's
taught
right.
me how to be gay or trans. I discovered
Yeah.
it myself. Like,
That's
you
right.
have to be part of the community, and like not gender affirm, but gender explore, like your
Yeah.
options. Like
Yes.
you have to see, like you have to live your gay life first in order to know if you want to transition. And then
That's right.
like, why are we skipping step? Why are we educating kids that it's normal to go from a kid to a trans person without even going through puberty? That's
know.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And normalizing that, it's dangerous, because what's the easiest thing to do when you have a misbehaved dog or whatever?
Yeah.
Fix
Great.
them.
Great.
Castrate an aggressive dog, and it's
That's
gonna
right.
be, and it's gonna be tame. It's gonna be quiet.
Yes.
It's gonna be a castrated dog.
Great.
You know, they're
Great.
trying to do with humans. They're trying to tame us and medicate us,
Great.
and keep us submissive. Basically, they want to.
No, that's totally right.
They want to keep us submissive to the system. They want to keep us submissive to the medical community. They want to keep us submissive to
Yes.
their higher power. They want to think. They think they are superior beings because they are so open and loving, and in the end, they are as hateful as the right wing
Extremists.
extremists. Like
Yes.
both
Yes.
extremes are bad.
They're both extreme. That's
yeah,
right.
The extreme left is bad and the extreme right is bad. Like we have to
That's
stay
right.
in the center or we're gonna fall.
Well, we are, and that's the thing. Everyone thinks Charlie Kirk was an extremist. No, he was not. He was a conservative man who had values through his church and through his teachings, which if you could take your own ego out of it and just listen to what he's saying, you will actually learn some great stuff from him. But everyone's ego gets involved in it, and they don't want to, hear what he's saying because they're so mad that he doesn't believe that LGBT should be taught in the school. But as a person of that so-called community, I also don't believe it should be taught in the school system in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
You shouldn't be affirming or celebrating somebody's sexuality. You should be accepting and open that sexuality and gender are fluid. Like you always, like maybe at 13, you think you're a girl. Maybe when you go through puberty and you start being around gay people, you're gonna see like, oh no, actually I like this better, and then that changes all the time. Like,
Totally.
I had a time when if I saw a woman, I was like, oh no, women, you. But when you start like exploring your sexuality and everything, you start changing, and like
That's right.
Denying a person their right of having a libido, of having being able to explore your body. When you suppress your puberty and when you block your puberty, you end up like a castrati. Like you end up like you grow up super feminine or whatever, but you have no desire, your energy levels are not the same that you're supposed to have.
That's right.
Like it's an experiment and it's scary.
It's child abuse, period. Leave children alone in schools. They will figure it out if they're gay, lesbian, trans, whatever. They'll figure it out when they get to the adults, and no one gives a shit because I've been doing this for 30 years and no one ever gave a shit. And the fact that Charlie Kirk would actually invite me to speak and have full-on respect for me, okay? Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you can't respect them. It's just the weirdest thing to me.
And I never seen when the Pulse massacre happened in Orlando, when that club shooting happened, I didn't see no Catholic conservative influencers saying, oh yes, great, the faggots got killed. No,
totally,
nobody said that. There was no space in society for people celebrating the death of gay people. Why are some people celebrating the death of a father in front of their children, in front of his children?
My skin as a dad, right, and as someone who has a 13-year-old now and newborn kid, I just am appalled that anyone. And so the one good thing I have to say, Giselle, is that I'm noticing people that I used to sort of distance myself from actually are starting to come and say, you know what, enough is enough. Like you're right, this is wrong. Something is askew here. They wouldn't be listening to you and I. By the way, everybody, Giselle and I are pretty much on the same agreement with all the trans stuff as older transsexual people who transition to live as a woman and live as a man. Though we know Giselle is biological male and I'm a biological female, we're full on chill with all of that. But what I'm trying to say here is once they started bringing kids, and that's when Charlie Kirk was also like, hold up here. Wait a minute. Like, he doesn't hate gay or lesbians or any of it. He just doesn't agree with the lifestyle, which, my God, I'm 63, Giselle. I've been dealing with that for my whole life. People don't all agree with you and your lifestyle. You have to, we were teaching kids to get mad at it and kill somebody because they don't like whatever lifestyle you have chosen. It's absurd.
It's crazy. I am 38 and
You're a baby.
I have 7 nephews and nieces, and like my friends have children, and I grew up with children around me, and I will never recommend them to transition unless they are on the right age and in the right mind space. I think therapy should be mandatory before
Right on.
before any hormone treatment, before any surgery.
Right on.
Especially like if you're a minor, but even if you're an adult, I think they should, and even if you're paying out of pocket, like sometimes I think if I had a therapy before doing any of my transition surgeries or something, maybe I should have stayed as a gay boy. It's not a mandatory thing that you have to transition. Like,
that's right.
When I transitioned, I did it because I was in that mind space and in that with that people, but not necessarily because I was like, I'm a woman in the wrong body, and if I don't transition, I'm gonna kill myself. And like that never happened to me. I don't know why they're putting those ideas in kids' heads. Like, if
it never happened to you, Giselle, because you were around grounded people. We also had to take our time before we could transition. And by the way, everyone, when I say elders, I don't mean she's old. I'm old. She's not. What I mean is our time in transition. We have a long. How long ago was it that you transitioned again?
I started being in the gay community at 15, like going to gay clubs and everything, and being around the trans girls. And I was always like part of the community, but I transitioned medically, like full time, what you call full time, at 25. Like I started taking hormones at 24. I started letting my hair grow, doing laser hair removal. I got a nose job. Like it's like
can I ask you?
It was a gradual thing.
But you never did feel like maybe I made a mistake. You never felt like, oh, this is the wrong choice for me. Did you ever feel like that?
I thought like that when before starting getting on hormones, I was really doubtful of like, what am I gonna do? Is this the right choice? What am I gonna do? But when you start getting medically induced, like when you start shooting estrogen in your body, you're like, okay, this is my thing. Like, and you start being encouraged, like, because inside your head, like you are like, oh, this is the right choice. This is the right choice, and you do it. Now, after being off hormones, I haven't taken not one shot of hormone for like 6 years. 6 years with no hormones whatsoever. I haven't taken hormones in that long of a time. And with all this secondhand embarrassment that I'm going through within the community, sometimes I'm like, why did I do this? Why didn't I stay as a gay boy? It was gonna be much easier. But I know I think like this because I have been off my medication for such a long time. So I know I have to get back on my hormones, on the right level of hormones or whatever.
Sure.
Now I want to take advantage that I have been off hormones for so long to
healthy
freeze my babies. I wanna do that. I want to take advantage, and I want to get back into the mind space that what I did was not a mistake, because what society is telling me outside now, it's making me feel ashamed of being trans now.
I know.
I used to be proud. I used to go to the pride parades, wave the trans flag, wave the gay flag. Last year, I put a huge gay flag in front of my house because I was still supporting of that, even though I live in a super white conservative neighborhood.
Sure.
I had a ginormous LGBT flag because I still believed in my community, and I still have some hope that my community can take distance from a really extremist ideology. I think most of the community are like people that make sense and people that,
Like us. It's
yeah,
the we
I
just
still
went.
think most of the community,
I
I think
agree.
they think like us,
I agree. But
but
they
it has but the
yes.
extremists are what, and polarizing
Yes.
people is what
Yes.
gets them more followers and what gets them more
That's right.
money or whatever, because divide and conquer is always going to be the best technique to put people in war.
100%. And then we got pushed out of the conversation. We got canceled in our own community because we were not going along with it. And it became very toxic. It became a toxic, nasty, violent, unrecognizable to me in any way, shape, or form. But I totally will agree with you. I believe that it will come back. I believe that I want to keep saying and reminding us that Charlie Kirk did not die in vain. I believe that it will help something, and I believe his voice will never die, and I believe that what he built will continue to be pushed forward. I'm a huge supporter of him, whether or not you all agree with me or you think I'm a bootlicker, it doesn't matter. I believe what he was trying to do was create a better world, which is what I've always been trying to do on some level. And I think the problem is that Giselle and I have now been lumped into this trans toxic space, which hurts us because we want people to have what we have. It is very important that people don't lose the opportunity, adults don't lose the opportunity to become better in their own selves. I'm a better person for my transition. I created a better space around myself. I just know that I give better to the world looking like a man than I did looking like a woman. And so let me finish this insane person. The white privileged lady. Because just wait.
As an openly queer,
Wait.
hateful, bigoted ways. He spoke negatively of Muslim people, of black people, of
No.
queer people,
No.
and of women on a regular basis.
That's
He
not
made
true.
a name for himself hating on marginalized people. So don't you dare come after us for not showing him the right amount of empathy for not being on this planet anymore.
Oh my God, congratulations. You're so good, baby. You're so good. You're so good for being always on the side of the oppressed. Congratulations. Congratulations. Here's your award. Congratulations for always being on the side of the oppressed, baby.
I love you. You're so awesome.
You're such a good white person because you're on the side of the oppressed.
Totally.
Here's your award.
Oh my God. Like calling him racist, homophobic, it's the easy way out, right? It's the literal easy way out. You're the marginalized. First off, lady, don't talk for me because I'm not marginalized. I'm not part of marginalization. Now, Giselle could have a different opinion, but and I'm not going to call myself privileged and all that. I'm just not going to do that. I'm a dude who's a chick who wants to be a dude who literally walks the world trying to find that sort of, opening. These white women are embarrassing.
I know. And I know about all the disaster that the white man brought to America and colonization. Like, okay, yes, every country in the world has been conquered and colonized or whatever. We have to look forward. We cannot undo all the things that happened in the world.
Excellent.
Just because you're living in this utopia kind of mindset where only you want people affirming what you think and you cannot accept any opinion that is against you. Like it's
crazy making.
It's crazy. And these people are really smart and they know taking this Robin Hood kind of persona. Like I'm gonna be with the poor and with the marginalized. And that's exactly what happened in Argentina when we had like 12-15 years of like extreme leftist government, and ruined the country.
I know.
They ruined the economy. The country is more divided than ever, and hopefully now with a little bit of a change that is going on, hopefully we're gonna go forward. But even in Argentina, where I'm from, people were tired of these extreme ideologies,
Yes.
extreme left, and it's people that are only doing what is wrong in order to be accepted. Oh yes, I'm the rebel. I am the one that is always gonna be
That's
on the
right.
side of the oppressed and the marginalized, and those are my people. The people that I grew up with, my family, the people that brought me to this world and raised me. Oh no, 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 because they are racist and they are
Oh my God.
misogynistic or whatever. These people really need to heal and understand that
Yes.
affirming delusion is not healthy.
Thank you. That's like that's the statement of the day right there, of the year, of stop. That's what Charlie was trying to say. Stop it. Stop affirming people's delusion. Why are you not letting? So I remember when the conversation with him, I said I felt suicidal at some point in my life, and
Yeah.
it was not. And he was so gracious. He said, "I'm so glad you didn't do it, and I'm so glad you didn't." Like, how is that someone who hates people like us, right? I have people in our community telling me to off myself, that I'm worthless, that I'm a piece of shit, and this guy's telling me, no, I'm very happy you didn't do that. And what he was trying to say was, we've got to tell these kids that they are girls and they are boys, and we've got to stop affirming to tell them that you can change your sex, because you can't. He was literally saying literally what you and I are saying. But of course, they're taking it in a way that's saying, well, then you're transphobic if you're telling a 10-year-old that they can't change their sex. How did we get here, Giselle? How did we get to a space where we are telling 10-year-old kids that they're not a girl, they're a boy? How?
Exactly. And like we are raising these kids to grow up with this mentality of
That's
like, oh,
right.
everybody's going to accept me as a woman. Everybody's gonna
Yes.
affirm
Yes.
how I grew up in my bubble. Like when you grow up in this bubble of affirmation, and then
Wow.
you go out in the real world and you see that the world is not going to affirm you. The world is not going to be like woo woo woo, yes
Yes.
yes yes. The world is not going to be like that. And my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, it's, you have to agree with crazy people. You have to just agree and let them
Oh,
be. But
wow.
it's not healthy. Like if you live
No.
in a society that only agrees with crazy people and with crazy ideologies,
What?
where is the world is going to end up?
Well, that's what happened. And
This
that's why
this is the
this happened.
and this is why a lot of people that grew up being proud of being in this community are now being like, you know what, this is not the community that I joined when I needed it. Like I was just telling you before we started,
Yeah.
like when I was 15, my mom left my dad for another guy, and she
Hmm.
left my house.
Hmm.
And back in the day when I was just starting with my coming out and
Hmm.
everything, I was like, okay, let her go. Like my
Hmm.
mom left my dad, and then when she was when I was 20, my
Hmm.
mom tried to take her own life when this man that she left my dad for left her. So I was really angry with my mom for such a long time. So I know what it is, the feeling of not being accepted by your parents, the feeling of being
Sure.
abandoned by
Yeah.
your parents or something. But you have to find forgiveness in your heart.
Thank
Like
you.
you have to understand that the way people were raised in the past, they were raised with the tools they had, and
That's
with
right.
with the information they had. And that doesn't mean that people hate you, or that they're not going to accept you, or they're
Hmm.
against you.
Hmm.
Because in my community, the gay community accepted me, and I started being in the community ever since I was 15, and they
Hmm.
welcomed me. And seeing the community that saved me when I needed them the most, when I
Hmm.
needed the contention the most, seeing the community that saved me being destroyed by political ideology,
I know.
it's
I know.
heartbreaking. It's
Totally.
heartbreaking because the LGBTQ community has always been my chosen family.
Yes.
Now after I started like doing adult work, and I started getting to know more people in the adult industry and the kink
Yep.
community and everything, that people is also part of my chosen family. But when those people, that extremists, when people take those extreme points of view,
Yes.
whether if it's extreme right or extreme left, it
Hmm.
is hurtful for everybody. It
Yeah,
is
we
not.
all lose out. We all of us lose out. And I I want to now, you're 100% right. And I want to now kind of move the direction to the actual shooter that murdered Charlie Kirk. And the fact that now they have, well, now he got charged. So he's now being charged with murder and all of that. And I have a video here I want to bring up for us. But so now this shooting and this killing and this assassination, whatever you want to call it, murder, it's murder. But the man, 22-year-old, which is I think what we're talking about here. These are 22-year-old kids who are delusional, who've had their delusions affirmed, who are just out of their minds, has now been affirmed that they have a transgender partner, a male to female. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, here it goes. Here it literally goes. So
No.
I personally am so pissed off that trans has become this. And I'll be honest with you, I did not think it wasn't going to be connected to the trans community. I'll be honest, I thought on some level, it's going to be a non-binary, queer, they, them, Zer, zo, like clown, whatever. And the transgender woman is now supposedly cooperating with the FBI about this, but now we have trans is literally connected to the shooting, killing of Charlie Kirk.
Between this and the Catholic school shooting a couple of weeks ago, it's like, do you think this is helping the community? Like doing this act is helping the community, and that there's not gonna be any consequences? Like the whole project 2025 was in retaliation of the 2030 agenda and the
That's
new
right.
world order or whatever, because that was where the world was going, and conservative people were like, oh no, wait a second, like we're gonna stop this. And I understand this is all part of a bigger plan. Like
it is.
I don't know if you heard where Candace Owens saying that maybe Ben Shapiro has something to do with the death of this guy or his wife. It's crazy, and all of these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's it.
All of these conspiracy theories are making people more anxious. Where are we heading? Are we heading into a future where we are like the Purge or the Hunger Games or something? Like where everybody's going to be divided?
Oh my God.
It's so scary.
It's scary.
So scary.
It's scary. It's why you and I have to step up. All of us transsexual people have to step up and say, hold up. These people are not our people. There are always bad people in groups of people. These are not. They are not our people. They do not represent us. These people we will call out. We will condemn. We will tell you that these are not transsexual people. These are people who have been fed a delusional shit. Now, the shooter I don't know so much, every day new shit comes out. So, I don't think he identifies as trans, but the fact that his girlfriend, a male becoming a female, is trans, that says everything to me. They were also in the furry community, which is, my God, what the hell's going on? The furry community is now connected to the trans community, which is connected to the non-binary community, which is again not us.
Also I wanna try to clean the name of trans attracted men or trans attracted people or like even furries and people in the kink community.
That's right.
A lot of people in the kink community are professionals that go to work every day and have their normal lives, and then they have that hobby of putting on a costume or whatever, and they are normal people.
Right.
There are, but when when we lift up the gates and we let any schizophrenic, bipolar, autistic, whatever other mental health issues,
sociopath.
And we start like praising them and affirming them or something, people in their heads, they are like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be a hero for
that's what
community.
He thinks.
Like the people celebrating Luigi Mangione and the people celebrating this guy for killing another human being. It's kind of like the guy that killed John Lennon because he wanted to be famous.
That's right.
And we are affirming that too. Are people gonna affirm the killing of John Lennon because he said, imagine there's no countries and no religions or whatever?
If it was today, they would. If it was today, but it was the era that would not happen. But today we're allowed to say these things about our bad country. We're teaching young kids to hate. And thank you for that super chat. And I don't blame you for leaving the furry community. And we should talk a little bit more about that. But what I want to say is that when you start affirming bullshit behavior, this is literally what you said. They lifted the gates and let all the sociopaths and psychopaths claim to be trans, when you and I were saying self-ID is bullshit, affirming therapy is bullshit, trans children is bullshit, all of this is bullshit. There is a such thing as biology. We are both, Giselle is a biological male, I'm a biological female. We're very grounded around that. We have a costume on. We walk the when Charlie Kirk said to me, dude, like, it's basically a costume, I'm like, you're right. It's literally a costume that I wear every day and I never take it off.
And also, like, the first thing that I do when I get home after being like hair extensions and makeup, and the first thing I do when I get home is take off my hair extensions, like take my makeup off, be untucked in the sofa, and I'm not gonna be like, oh yes, I'm a woman.
Totally. I'm a lesbian. Like, okay, I'm going home now. I'm a lesbian with my partner. We have a baby. We're like, I swear to God, the other day I was like, I'm done. I'm so done with trans. I'm just gonna go back to living as a butch woman and be like the ugliest woman in the world. And I don't give a shit. Like, I would rather just not be a part of the insanity of sociopathic, psychopathic behavior, because the fact, Giselle, people were, this is gonna I could actually get very emotional. They were cheering the murder of Charlie Kirk. Our community was cheering it on, telling people that he deserved to get it done. And I'm thinking, what if the tables were turned and somebody in your, I don't know, let's say Dylan Mulvaney was shot and murdered. You people would be losing your shit over it. But the people who you call the bad people would not be celebrating his murder. I do not believe they would be celebrating his murder in any way, shape, or form.
I think that the extreme right might be.
That's extreme. We're talking about extreme.
Both extremes, and that's why I want to always be clear that I am not against the gay people. I am against the politicization,
extreme. Yes,
politicization of the community and the division of the community by people that are telling us what to do. Gay people were always rebels. We never took orders from anyone. We were always and now we are thinking, what the GLAAD people tell us what to do, and
that's right. GLAAD, HR's Human Rights Coalition, all of them. I used to support all of these organizations. They went off the deep end. What's that other? They're all crazy. Yeah, they're just crazy, and they're trying to make us. The problem is this, Giselle. Thank you all for the super chats. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Media creating psychopaths. That's right. I really believe they are creating psychopaths. And I think we're normalizing psychopaths. And we need to get back to actual really understanding mental health. Because I read something about COVID, which I do believe the kids were pushed into an online space. So they weren't interacting with other kids in a space outside of the internet. And that's when all the kids got on the internet, and all the memes and all the insane furry and cosplay and trans and identity all really took a huge. And so these kids have been indoctrinated into this sort of, you can't tell me what to do attitude, and I can be whoever I want. And when you don't affirm me, you're the bad person. And like, I grew up where, like, if I didn't pick up the dog shit and take out the trash, my ass is grounded. That's how I'm like, where's the discipline?
Also, I don't know how sometimes, therapists and stuff are pushing people into like this instead of telling them you need a medication for schizophrenia or bipolar disorder.
Yes,
just take a testosterone blocker so you can be calmed down. And you're not gonna be taking psychoactive medication. You're just taking hormones, so it's maybe gonna be better for your brain than taking a psychoactive, just a hormone. And that's why I think a lot of therapists are pushing on transitioning because they think it's going to be easier for their brains or for their mental health, and we are wrongly medicating people
Oh my
with the wrong
God.
medication. Like
Oh my God.
it's not a game. Like to take cross-sex hormones, sometimes it can make you even crazier.
Yes, it made me.
Yes.
I was upping my dose of, for a while there, I was totally into like the steroid thing, and I got
Yeah.
really buff and big.
Of
Oh,
course,
come on, man! It totally changed the way I was. A little. Okay,
Absolutely.
I was a lot more aggressive, and I was a
Yeah.
lot more angry at shit, and I was a lot more. I just was not the same sort of more. I really just have a maintenance dose now. It's a very small amount of.
And again,
testosterone.
maybe now I think like this because I am off the estrogen. And if I start taking estrogen tomorrow, maybe I'm gonna start being like more. Oh yeah, actually, maybe trans women are women, because you're gonna start feeling it inside.
Yes.
You're gonna be in a medically induced delusion.
Yes. Great.
You're in an
Great.
MID state. It's a medically induced delusion.
That's
And
a
when
great
you-
point.
When you are on the juice, like when people are on steroids or
Totally.
something, you're
You're right.
always gonna try to connect with the same people in
That's
your
right.
community. And
Great point.
of course, you are full of estrogen inside, and you have these crazy women
Great point.
telling you that, oh yes, your parents were the problem, and we're gonna
Oh, my-
take you now. Now we're gonna be your chosen family. Like your family, they made you racist,
Scary.
they made you right wing, they made you a Republican, but we're gonna take you. We're gonna be your chosen family now.
I know.
And
I
they're
know.
gonna manipulate you. Like a lot of
Ooh.
I work with manipulation. I work with trying to tell people that what they're doing is right, and a lot of times it is. Like you're
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
between consenting adults and in
Yeah.
a safe space,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like whatever,
Yeah.
do whatever you want in order to cope with your trauma, but
Yeah.
stop trying to push it like it's
Yeah.
this normal space, because it's a really dark space. And
It's dark.
I try to think of myself as a being of light. I can go and play in the darkness. I can go and work in the darkness, but then I come out of it. I come out of that mind space, and I am a person that it's logic, and it's about love, and it's about making the world the most
Exactly.
beautiful place. Like I've always been a hairstylist, a makeup artist, a person that is into aesthetics and making women feel better. Like now I am starting a photo studio. The other day, 2 women came to take pictures in my house, and I was like dressing them and doing their styling and their makeup and making them feel better with themselves, and that made me feel good. When you are making the
Awesome.
world a better, more
Awesome.
beautiful place. But there's these people that are comfortable in their darkness. They are happy
I know.
with the world being a darkest and darkest and darkest place,
Yes.
and it's scary when you see that the world is being being normalized and globalized, the intifada and all
Oh.
that stuff. It's a lot of darkness. It's
Charlie Kirk was talking about what a lot of us talk about. You better be careful when you start letting a certain type of ideology come into this country. I don't think he was anti-Muslim. He was anti-ideological spaces. And I agree with him. You've got to be careful. There are very bad people in all groups of people. And when people start coming here and telling you to do and say things that go against your actual natural space or what our country actually stands, we welcome. You're an immigrant. We welcome you here. We welcome immigrants to come here, but you can't come to this country and start putting all your other ideological crap and try to change the way our country is. Go ahead and have your mosque and have your temple and have your Christian space and have, all your Buddhist space. We welcome all religions here. What we don't welcome is when you try to come to this country and break down our system and try to indoctrinate people into a hate space, okay? Because Antifada is a hate space. It is not a welcoming, beautiful space. Christianity is also a welcoming. I don't know. I'm not a Christian, but I understand it, and I believe a lot of the words that come out of there. It doesn't make me hate them. I just don't. It's not where I go to, but that's okay. It doesn't mean we can't come together and listen to other people's religions. That's what he was trying to say. You are going to ruin what we have. And why do you think everyone wants to come to America?
Exactly. And when I joined the community, the gay community or whatever, I was never conditioned into you have to think this kind of way or these are the rules of the
Yes.
community. And
Yes.
now, if you're gay, you have to be all of this extreme leftist kind of ideology. I never took a pledge to the
That's
gay
right.
community, but
Nope.
I took the pledge of allegiance last year, and I'm not gonna be anti-America because
Right on.
I fought really hard to be in the position where I am today and to be able to live in this country. I moved from really far away in order to live in this country because it is the
Beautiful.
best country in the world. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let people to ruin it just because they are so sad that they didn't grow up with the privilege that others did, or because they did grow up with privilege and they feel guilty about it. Like,
They're
because
being
there's a
taught that. They're being
there's a lot, exactly. There's a lot. They have told me. I told you last time. They have told me, oh, because you are white passing, like the color of your skin they never gave you trouble because you're Latina, but you're white too.
What?
And like I have my one of my best friends. She's black, and when we met, she told me like, oh, you're not white, girl. You're not white. And I'm like, oh. I was downgraded from being white into being Latina. I know what it is to be white. I know what it is to be non-white, and white people are not the problem. Like the religion,
It's not the
organized religion is
problem.
not the problem.
No.
Like people that are destructive are the problem.
There you go. And trying to infiltrate to change little young, they're going after our youth. They are going after our youth.
And they are fully destructive, but in your face. When they see you, they're like all
That's
smiles
right.
and politically correct.
That's
But when
right.
You turn back, it's the stabbing in the back.
Oh, they're scary. Yep.
And maybe I'm gonna face retaliation for being in this podcast with you because
You will.
my old Instagram, when I was mostly Giselle Driller and being super open
Yeah.
and super sexual and everything.
Yeah.
My old Instagram got taken down, and I am suspicious that maybe a lot of people might have because when I started sharing a lot of the Gays Against Grooming website and the page, and we are all part of the community, and we all
Yes.
don't think kids should be put in these spaces. Even there's some sports that have in the ruling and in the rules of sports that participants that didn't trans participants that have to have their puberty suppressed in order to be able to participate in these sports. That shouldn't even be an option.
What? You've got to be kidding me.
There's if you are trans athlete and you had your puberty suppressed, you are allowed to participate in the sports.
That's bullshit.
But if you didn't have your puberty suppressed, you cannot.
Well, and there you go.
They are pushing that like
That's right.
There's gonna be a time limit for you to transition. Like if you didn't block your puberty when you were supposed to, like now it's too late.
That's right.
It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
Well, no, that's how they're trying to say that it's transphobic not to let a child transition, because literally what you said, it's all manipulative, gaslighting us. So if you don't let a kid take puberty blockers and they can't play sports, then you're not letting them become trans. That's transphobic. It's all manipulative. Every facet of all of this ideological extreme space is after our children, because they're going after. That's why he said, I don't want that crap in my school system. That's why Charlie said that. I don't want it in my school. I don't want to be around my fucking children. I as a parent should also have the opportunity to say, no, I don't want that in our school. Majority of people, by the way, everybody, do not want LGBTQIA pee poo poo in the school system. So why is it even there? How is the minority overriding the majority? That's the part we should all put our head around. And Charlie was blinking the lights like, wake up, everybody. They are indoctrinating kids at 4. Remember they were saying like little 4-year-olds are trans.
Yeah,
What?
it's people that want reparations. It's people that want revenge because they couldn't do it when they were
That's right.
younger, because they
That's right.
didn't have supportive parents that maybe like supported, or they didn't have the
That's right.
information. And now they want to change the world. Because they did a study with I don't know how many kids, and I don't know like what type of kids they use
Yeah.
for these studies of trans people. Now they want to generalize that all trans people should be like the people that they did those. Who are the people that gave those kids away for them to be studied?
That's right.
What kind of parent? It's not just a supportive parent, and I'm telling you this from a place where I know the stories of many of my clients and customers, and a lot of times they went through really big abuse in their childhood.
Yes.
And they were
Yes.
manipulated, and
Yes.
they were and they are suffering of
I
this.
know.
And
I know.
they don't think that they're trans or something. They know that they have been hurt by
Yes.
people that were supposed to take care of them. And
That's right.
we as elders, we don't have to be agreeing with crazy people. We have to tell them, look, you can be trans whatever you want, but don't be expecting to be celebrated all the time. Don't be expecting for people to praise you for your decisions. There's
That's
always going to be
right.
people that are going to be against you.
Yep.
And that's okay. And that's what's going to make your transness stronger. That's if you make the decisions on the right time, and after experiencing what it
Yes.
is. No, you don't have to transition before
That's
you
right.
actually live in a society where you are supporting yourself and you are able to make your own decisions, because life is not going to be always like mommy and daddy behind you taking care of you.
Well, that's why it's child abuse. Because
agree.
I did
Yes.
live. I lived my whole life until the age of 30 as a butch woman. I knew that I wasn't comfortable. Thank God it wasn't possible for me to transition. My parents said they would have never done it. They let me be a tomboy. They let me be a roughhouse chick. I beat up the shit out of all the dudes at school. Like, I was that chick, right? I did not have a bad childhood. I want everybody to
me
know
neither.
this. I did
Me
not.
neither.
I had an awesome childhood. Yes.
Me too. And when I transitioned, I did it because I was ready, and because I had lived around trans people, and that was the people that loved me and accepted me in the moment when I needed it the most. Like,
that's right.
And now they're making it like you have to transition young, and like yes, you can have great results transitioning at 19, 20, 21 years old. Amazing results. The most beautiful trans women that I know have transitioned after puberty. Like, they're putting in kids' heads like, oh, if you transition young, you're not gonna need facial feminization surgery. You're not gonna need voice surgery. It is like, yes, those physical changes you're not gonna need to correct those physical changes.
But what if you want to have a different nose? So what about regular women who decide, I don't like my nose? You're going to be like a woman who that's not true. You might look more feminine, but what about the inside of the body? What about the sexuality? What about the penis? What about all the things that you get to as an adult? How dare we do that to a child and say, okay, we're going to make it so you don't have a penis, and then you're never going to feel sexual, and you're going to be like a zombie. And I've interviewed those young people who are on, and they wish they never were put on those because they haven't even experienced a sexual space. How dare that? Is sick. That is actually sick.
Everybody deserves their slut era. Everybody deserves to be sexual. Right. Everybody deserves to know their sexuality, to know what it is to connect with a partner in that in that space. When you castrate a kid, when they're never gonna be able to connect with a person in an intimate way, because they're never gonna feel it like something like they desire. They're never gonna feel they're gonna feel it like they are doing it for the other person.
That's
and that's the biggest kind of control and domination. Like, you're gonna be their toy. You're gonna be the If you don't have your own sexual desire, you're not gonna be a victim of your own sexual desire, if you know what I mean.
Well, but that's also, again, Charlie was saying, he's very family oriented, as I am, and I think you are on some level too. And how dare we take the opportunity for a young person to decide whether or not having babies is more important than cutting my boobs off and getting a hysterectomy. A 15-year-old has no. When I was 15, I was like, I don't want kids. Like, I would have been, yeah, take that stuff off. But as you get older, these kind of desires and things change. And if I didn't have had that opportunity, I'll tell you what, man, I would have been pissed off. You don't think all these young kids who are put through this medical space are going to be pissed off at somebody? They're going to be pissed off that they never have the opportunity to have a child. And that's what Charlie was just saying. Give these kids an opportunity to figure out family is important, creating family and moving forward in the world and having these opportunities. But that's not what they're hearing. They're only hearing that he hates you because your lifestyle is X, Y, and Z.
And you had so many people invited to your podcast explaining that when they got their puberty suppressed, even just Jennings,
yes,
like you go through, like your anatomy doesn't grow the way it's supposed to grow in order to later give you a proper sex change, and you can have a lot of, you have this girl from Indiana, I think she had pelvic floor issues. You can have a lot of issues. You need to grow. You need to let your skeletal anatomy grow. You need to let your organs, you need to let your brain mature before you go into that, because otherwise you're gonna be always this dumb submissive bimbo doll. That's
a doll.
That's I work with a lot of people in the fetish community, and the forced feminization and the dollification and the sissy hypno, all of those spaces are okay, but not for a child. Not
it's an adult.
That's basically abusing a child and telling them that, manipulating them into your own fetish. And you made a lot of videos of this father that was a cross-dresser before, and now he's pushing transition on their kids. That's projecting your own dreams into children. That's really dangerous.
That's so crazy.
You can see how Britney Spears ended up now for their parents manipulating her into saving them from poverty or whatever, because you have these parents now manipulating their children or supporting their children to be in this transition kind of spaces. And those kids are gonna end up crazier than Britney Spears. Like it's crazy.
Oh, everybody better be prepared for it. We are going to have a backlash of these young kids coming out of the delusional trans. After they're literally,
we already had one with the Catholic school here in Minnesota.
That's right.
In Minnesota. I live here in Minnesota, and you have these kids.
I can't
saying, I don't want to be trans anymore.
I know.
I don't want to be rejected by my community if I did transition.
That's right.
I grew up with a lot of people in a cross-dressing space where I went to the club and I dressed up, and then I went back home and I put on my normal clothes, and that was part of the trans experience, like being exploring your gender and coming in and out of your gender is part of your experience. It's part of what you need to do in order to make an informed decision. Because when you are transitioning just to be part of the community and just to have a social group of people agreeing with you, that's really dangerous. And also,
that's an ideology.
I was talking to a person a couple months ago, and she was telling me, my therapist put me on hypnosis, and when she put me on hypnosis, I realized that my father molested me when I was a kid, and I didn't have no recollection. I didn't remember any of that before. And when that psychologist put me in that hypnosis, and then I couldn't see my father anymore. I felt like, and it's hypnosis. It's really dangerous for a person that didn't even have recollection of their father,
because it didn't happen. It didn't,
and their psychologist put her in that mind space where she was abused, and and then when you start taking testosterone blockers and estrogen, you start feeling like, oh yeah, this is my community. This is
Right, you can
and
talk them into it. That
yes,
hypnosis
exactly.
stuff used to be called
And
recovered memory therapy, and they debunked it or debunked it a long time ago. But people were getting hurt from it because people were going, and then these hypnotherapists were putting ideas into these people's head that their dad molested them, that their uncle molested them. It was a shit show.
1 second.
It's actually crazy. If you don't know about, you should look. I wrote it down a note because I want to recovered memory therapy. I think it was called back in the day, and it ruined a lot of families on some level. This is the same thing that's happening to these young kids. They're being put in their brain that they're trans and that everyone hates them. That's why I think that the killer, the person who murdered Charlie Kirk, I think that he was part of this thing within the trans space.
Exactly.
That
Your
he was being.
parents did it. Your parents raised you really right wing. You're damaged because what your parents did to me or what your past did to me.
Yes.
And here you're gonna have your chosen family, and
that's right.
And this is a safe space. We're gonna affirm and we're going to agree with everything you said, and you're taking advantage of a vulnerable person that is feeling some kind of identity crisis.
That's right.
Because they don't agree with the way they were raised.
Yes.
And that happens to me too. I was raised in a really bipolar kind of environment where my mom was super conservative, military educated, everything, and my dad was a gangster basically. And when in my house, there was never talking about politics because it was always for problems. It was sure. And now you are seeing these children that are being indoctrinated into feeling that the Republicans are the enemy or the right-wing people are the enemy. I think we should raise children in a more neutral kind of environment and let them decide also when they're older what kind of religion they want or what kind of and sometimes like the super left-leaning people, they were like, oh no, you have Catholic trauma because you were raised like this, and you actually are trying to accept yourself, but you cannot because the way that you were raised as a Catholic doesn't let you accept yourself who you are. And I'm like, no, I accept myself the way I am, but I know I'm not a fucking terrible person. Like,
that's part of the religion where it can go, of course, extreme, and it can be another way. Religion also has, I think, levels of extreme, levels of, more sort of like very geared in this, or, more open, I don't want to use the word liberal, but more like you can interpret it how you need to interpret it. You can interpret Jesus's words. To me, Jesus is love. Jesus was a dude who was super cool and wanted everyone to like have peace and love. And, don't judge your neighbor. You have to look at what he was saying in the context of love and not like hate.
Exactly. And there's no religion, there's no spiritual space where death is celebrated like that, or where like the debauchery is like celebrated like that. I grew up going to a Catholic school my whole life and Catholic and whatever. But now I don't know if you see this. This is this is Yemanja. This is the goddess of the ocean.
Beautiful.
Like, it's like there's a different kind of spirituality that I am in right now, where I do believe in climate change, for example. I'm not the kind of person that is like, oh no, that's a story from the lefties in order to sell more.
Something's happening.
I do believe work is work. I do believe a lot of things that are really liberal, medical, weed, and recreational too. Like I agree, like freedom of expression. I support more non-binary people than medically transitioning kids. Like if you
because I do too.
You want to be in a space where you are a feminine man or a butch woman, it's fine.
That's right.
If you are choosing to use they, them pronouns, I'm going to try to respect them because I'm a community, and I'm going to try to affirm your decision, but you cannot be demanding the rest of the world to get into that mind.
Well, you're the kind of person that is called nuanced. That is a nuanced behavior. And that's what I think we should all try to achieve. On some level, Charlie Kirk was new. He was always, he believed what he wanted to believe. You believe what you want to believe, but you don't have to hate each other, because to me, that's nuance.
You don't push it on other people. There's no consequences. This lady that was arrested in the UK for saying that you have to kick a trans woman in the nuts. That was a joke. That was a joke.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian. Yes.
And she was deprived of her freedom for her freedom of speech.
People are nuts, man. It's totally crazy, because she does have nuts, and why hang her in the nuts?
When this Charlie Kirk thing happened, I'm like, who's next? I am next. Buck, Candace Owens.
That's right. That's right.
JK Rowling.
JK.
What are these people are gonna do with people that think different? Are they gonna start killing us all?
Well, they're celebrating on that extreme left side. They're actually celebrating on platforms that are like, "Yay, that he was killed. His children won't be subjected to his insanity." Like, people are insane.
That's insane. Like, if anybody wants to go to my YouTube channel, I have a video where I tell the story about when I was in jail and about to be deported by ICE, and when I came out of jail, I found out that my father had died while I was in jail. I found out, there's a whole video, and I know the heartbreak that is losing a father suddenly out of nowhere.
Oh my God!
And I will never celebrate that.
Never.
My dad died of a heart attack. Like, nobody killed my dad. Imagine the trauma that those kids are going to experience for seeing their dad killed in cold blood.
Disgusting.
In front of the whole world. And the video was on Instagram. Like, I saw.
I didn't see it.
It was disgusting. It was scary.
Won't watch it.
It was scary. It was scary. And this world is turning scarier and scarier,
mean and nasty and divided and disgusting. And so that is why, first off, I won't watch it, because I just want to have him in my memory of my time that I spent. And also, I think that when we give that kind of social media stuff likes and views, it's not good. I don't think that stuff should be allowed on the internet. And I think what happens, what we said earlier, is the shooter gets praised, and so of course he wants to be the hero, and he's this guy, and he's actually being praised within the trans, furry, whatever space, which is, we have to look at this. We have a huge problem on our hands. We have a problem with these people.
When you get comfortable in a headspace where you are completely dehumanized, you're not going to have any humanity. If you think of yourself as a fur animal, as a stuffed animal, you have no humanity.
That's right.
Like, when you use that king space as a king, but when you already identify yourself as, oh, that's my identity, that's who I am. No, that's a fetish, and there's no problem in you.
That's right.
In indulging in your fetish.
That's right.
If you do it in a safe space.
As an adult.
As an adult, do your fetish, do whatever you want, but that's not who you are as a person. It's like, remember who you are, Simba. Remember. Like,
that's right. Great.
You have to get back into your humanity.
Well, they taught these kids
your personality.
Well, they indoctrinated the kids into believing they could be anything they want. And when somebody doesn't affirm you, they're the bigot and they're the bad person. They literally indoctrinated these kids into believing they can change their sex, they can be trans, they can be whatever they want, and everyone else hates them. I watched it happen over 10 years. I literally watched it happen to this breaking point, to now where we lost somebody who was going to make great change in this world. And I actually admire people who stand up and speak their mind. They're my heroes, whether I believe them or not. My heroes are the people who stand up and say what needs to be said, not the people who are cowering under a group of people and refuse or shoot somebody because they don't like the way. So we're going to end here soon, but I just want to say, It is connected to the trans. In my opinion, it's connected to the trans ideological extremist space. It is.
It is.
Yes, thank you for that.
And it's so heartbreaking admitting that. Like,
Yes.
this kind of Reddit, Discord kind of culture where everybody's in those like closed bubbles of affirmation,
Disgusting.
and everybody feels in their safe space because you have people agreeing with you, and you never even know. Maybe those groups and everything, maybe they're not even people from America. Maybe they're
Could
even
be.
chatbots. You know, maybe
Could
they
be.
are. They
Yeah.
are trying to get us crazy. Maybe this is a higher power trying to destabilize the country and
Yeah.
destabilize the economy and the safety and the mindset of people. You can manipulate a person to be in that
Wow.
kind of mindset.
wow.
And when you stay in that mindset that you're the victim, you're the victim, you're the victim, you're the victim, you cannot go out of there.
That's right.
afterwards.
You can't.
You are
can't.
celebrating people for being obedient and submissive instead of encouraging them to like snap out of it. Like, this
Yes.
is not a mind space that you want to stay in. Like,
That's why I think.
I when I am a dominatrix and I am in my dungeon or whatever, yes, you are a doll, you're a whole, you're a bot. Like, I affirm that.
Sure.
But when I get out of that mindset and I am Andrea, I am encouraging. Like, you don't have to always be in that victim kind of mindset. Like,
Yes.
if I had stayed in the victim mindset before somebody tried to kill me, before I was almost deported from the US, before when my mom left the family for another guy, when she tried to kill, there was a lot of moments where I
Sure.
was in that mindset of darkness. And
Yeah.
when I was like, I had the piercing, my nose, my tongue, my eyebrow, I had that
Yeah.
piercing, and I was in that mindset of self-destruction.
Totally.
But you get out of there. Like, that kind of mindset is not a mindset that you want to stay in. Like, I know, like, I have a lot of friends that are emo and like, but
Sure.
when you stay in that mindset where you're like constantly grifting and constantly being the victim,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
don't do anything to get out of there, you are comfortable being the victim, it's dangerous.
It's just like addiction. If
It's
you're going to
addiction,
continue
yeah.
to do drugs and become because it's just a downward spiral. You become homeless. You don't have anything. You go
Yeah.
into maybe doing things that you shouldn't be doing. This is what's happening to these young people. There's no going up. These kids are going down hard, and this is showing it right here. When one of these young people murders somebody who was actually doing good work, this is where it has to be. If this isn't a wake up call, Giselle, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say, because other than the fact that me and you and all of us, Blair and Tori and all of us, need to keep saying this. We need to keep putting it out there. We need to shut down the whole trans. I believe it's like the trans industrial complex. We have to shut it down. Yes.
They became, the trans community is the industry. It's an industry.
Yeah, it's an
now.
industry. Yes.
And the gay community, the everything, it's an industry. The people
Yes.
that make the furry costumes that are an industry.
Totally.
Everything. And I
Totally.
agree. Like, there should be freedom for everybody to like do whatever they want, but not with kids, and not
Also, just
putting-
because we're trans doesn't mean we have to just talk about being trans. I would like to actually start talking about being a dad. I would love to start talking about being adopting my child from, child protective space. I would love to talk about, this new role I have as a 63-year-old dad. Like, wow, it's so amazing and changed my life. But we can't. We have to stay focused on, I care about these young kids as you do. These young kids cannot continue on this destructive. We are in, it's just, I don't even know what to say other than that. I just feel so sad for these kids that they got caught up in this shit. And and Charlie Kirk's family as loss, and all of it is so just mind-blowing to me that here we sit, as somebody, both of us, who it worked out for us and we really benefited from something that now we see as people looking at it as a very destructive, disgusting space.
It is scary, and sometimes I would like to focus my time on doing other kind of content too, because I have been
That's
doing
right.
adult content ever since COVID started. That's
Yeah,
when I
sure.
started doing OF, and that's when I got into that world. But
Yes.
it is a full-time job. Like
Totally.
you have to be
Totally.
like promoting your content, posting on social media, and Giselle Driller was a product of like always trying to be overly hot and
Of
overly.
course.
But
That's how you
now
make your
that
money.
now that now that that Instagram is gone, and like even my Snapchat, like I want to see rejection as redirection and start putting more of my time into
Excellent.
bringing good to the world, and not just affirming delusion of people that are really hurt
Well, I'm
sometimes.
telling you, you have a powerful voice, and and I'll put the link to your channel. Everyone, please support. They love you. I can always look in the
Yeah,
chat and watch how everyone just thinks you're very intelligent, you're very well spoken, you're beautiful. All the things that I think you can actually change your direction. And sex work is difficult. There has to be a time
it
when
is.
you have to
And
move.
when I
Yeah,
started in 2020
yeah,
with adult make content
yeah,
creation, it was
yeah.
because I didn't have it. I didn't have another option. It was COVID, and I started doing
Yes,
OS.
yes.
But now I am like, I have a good life thanks to that, and I am so grateful because I was able to succeed, and I was really thoughtful of like coming back here and everything, because they were like, oh, if you go on that podcast, you're gonna be considered the enemy. People are not gonna want to work with you. You're not gonna be able to collab with people anymore. And
Sure.
you know what? I don't care.
Of course not.
I rather use my voice to say something that is gonna bring better to the world, and not continue affirming things that are hurting the world. You know what I mean?
That's because you care, and that I
I
don't.
do get,
I
and I
believe in
am
the
and
universe.
I am so sorry, because I have friends that are really like, and they were saying, "Oh, ha ha ha, Charlie Kirk died," and that was really disappointing. It broke
Disgusting.
my heart,
Just
because
disgusting.
it's people that I care about. How can they be into that mindset and be proud of it?
Because they're also brainwashed. They are brainwashed and they are scared to lose community. All of those people you're talking about probably were a lot of my friends as well. But when I started talking out years ago, they just disowned me immediately. But
Yeah,
I don't care because I want friends like you whom we can
yeah,
disagree to agree. The main focus for me, friend, is children. I don't give a F
exactly.
what a
Yeah,
adult does. I care about these young people, and I'm going to be a role model. If I'm going to be a role model, I'm going to be a role model that says no. I'm going to be that role model that says no, kiddo.
yeah.
Go out there, go to school, like do things, sports, like do other things. Stop focusing on being trans. That's the role model I want to be. And when you get to be old enough, you go right ahead and transition, kiddo. But I bet you won't. I bet you won't. I bet you'll be totally fine.
I have a new roommate now. She's 27, and she's starting her transition.
Yeah,
And I like to say that she's my daughter, like she's my
sure,
trans daughter.
sure,
And she's
sure.
asking me all the time, oh, yes, I want to start doing OF. I want to start doing traveling and escorting. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, no. I want to be the kind of parent that is like, this job is going
excellent,
to hurt your intimacy. I want you to like
excellent.
hold on your intimacy, on your she's a really loving girl. She's just starting with her transition, and
Great.
she's 27. She's old enough to make her own decision,
Sure.
but I'm trying to guide her on a side, on a road that is not gonna end up with her being so hurt like I did doing this job, and
Good for
and with
you.
this lifestyle. And
Good for you.
if I was an affirming person, I will be like pimping her out,
Of
or
course.
and I don't want to do that. I want her to have a beautiful life, and I want her to
You have
I want her
experience.
to have a normal job,
That's right.
and
Sex
be
work
able to
should be over here. It is on some level the last choice. I don't think we should be pushing young people
I think
into doing
sex work
sex
should
work.
be limited for people that are already broken,
On some
basically.
level, that's right. No, that's a
I
great point.
I was
Yes.
already like, my first experience
Yes.
sexually was a situation of abuse
Yes.
from my friends from Catholic school. So
Hmm.
I am like this whole mental thing that I love having people pay for my time. I love people having
Sure.
pay for my content, but because I was traumatized from the beginning, and for me, my sexuality was never something so intimate. It was
Yeah.
something that I was like stolen. Like
Yeah.
that was my intimacy was stolen from me. So I decided to monetize my trauma, and
Yeah. There you
that's okay.
go.
Do it and do it smartly. But if you are a person that is just starting with their sex life and you already want to start
Great
doing
point.
OnlyFans, you are gonna get ruined. Like this is not something you want. This is not a space you want to get into
That's right.
unless it's necessary. Unless it's because
But
it's
that's what we should be saying as people who have both been in that industry, right? You
yeah,
can't come out very damaged from it. It does affect your
yeah,
intimacy space. That's also what Charlie Kirk was saying. He wanted to have that. I was willing to have that conversation with him, and I agreed him on many things. It is a very difficult space to be in. I won't say that I dislike what I did, but I don't. A lot of young kids come to me, that young kids in their 20s, and I want to do
yeah.
what you did, Buck. I go, you better hold off and you better wait because it'll be with you forever. It's with you forever. It's never going
Yeah.
away. Are you
And
prepared for that?
exactly, and for such a long time, that's why I've been off hormones for such a long time, and for six,
Yes.
because I was prioritizing my business and
Of
prioritizing
course.
my work, and
Yes.
but now that I am uh, so unstable, I'm not unstable in my head, but I
No.
feel ashamed of being trans now. I need to get back on my hormones so I
I
can
hear
feel,
you.
that it's okay, but
Yes.
at the same time it's
Yes.
like you need to do things knowing that how they can affect you,
Yes.
it is
That's
like
right.
that mind space that the hormones put you in when you
Yes.
are like starting, that they make you believe that everything is beautiful and that the world
So
is going
true.
to the
So
world,
true.
and you're the only beautiful girl in the world, and the world has to follow you, and that doesn't happen when you go out in the real world. Like
Nope.
you have
It
to
does not.
you have to experience with your gender, not just affirm it and
Yes.
you like, oh, this is the only choice. There's many ways to transition, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to be a positive influence for someone that needs
You
the,
are.
yeah, and I want to start making more content like this, but it's again the fear of being canceled, the fear of being of them, I don't know,
That's what
like,
they want. That's called gaslighting. That's what they
yeah,
want. They don't want you to say you actually maybe agreed some with Charlie Kirk. They don't want you to say you have to be in steps in line with what they're saying, or you're not part of the community. That's gaslighting. You are too smart for that, Giselle. And also, we need to start influencing other people like us, whether
I
you're
know.
transsexual, whatever's
And
going on, to start saying what you believe, even
yeah,
if it goes against.
and after doing therapy, I'm like, I don't want to be a victim of my trauma my whole life,
That's right.
and continue doing this because I stayed in that mind space. Like
Yes.
I want to get out of this business, and I want to get into the communication and people seeing me for who I am, and not just because I'm Giselle Driller, the sex object. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's it. So now it's your next, I
and
believe,
and and, and
steps
that's
in
why
life.
I admire why I admire you so much, because you got out of that space, you
Thank
got
you.
out, and you started making a living. Like,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of people will say that you're spreading hate like Charlie Kirk, but I think what you're doing is opening eyes to people that are in a mindset where they are basically submissive to what other people say, and
Right. Of course
what
they're going to
to what
say that. I'm spreading hate. But I think on the contrary, they're the ones I'm willing to, here's the thing, Giselle, I'm willing to have any of those people on my channel. I'm willing to have any person just like Charlie Kirk.
yeah,
I am literally willing to have a conversation with anybody who hates me, who makes
yeah.
content about me. Every single time, none of them will come on my channel. Not one of
And
them.
I am willing also to change my mind if there was positive voices of, let's say, a kid that got their puberty suppressed and now they are a doctor and they have a family and they live a normal life and they're
Yes,
happy. Why there's not more no more positive voices
that's
of
right.
puberty suppression? Why they're what they are under a
Good
rock?
point.
Why there's no more positive? I told you last time when we spoke, I googled positive testimonies of puberty suppression, and all I found was kids that did
Crickets.
transition.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
what we have saw in TV with Jazz Jennings and other people that went into your show and told us
Yes.
about the dangers of puberty suppression. I don't see anybody that
Nobody.
has their puberty suppressed and be like, oh, I have a beautiful family now. This is my
Nope.
couple situation. I am a
That's a great
professional.
point.
A lot of the people that are defending puberty suppressants are looking really, really deranged in the head. And you see those kids that they talk with their eyes like this and
I know because they're all messed up. It literally
Yeah.
suppressed the growth of their brain. I have a little baby now. I have a 3-week-old, a beautiful little baby girl, and I
Oh.
just see her every day grow, and she's eating like a little pig, and I'm like, God, you're like, because she had a little bit of colic, and she was a little messed up in the beginning, but we really got her back to health, and now she's just like, I need a bottle, and I'm just watching this little girl grow up and just so fast, right? And I'm thinking, like, come on, people, these little babies and these little kids are really looking at us as adults to take care of them and lead them in the right direction. And how dare you say these kids are trans? I can't even imagine when she gets 5 saying she's trans. Like, what? Like, it just, I see it every day with the kids. I have kids in my house all the time. We have play dates. We have all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Kids are so innocent. They're so innocent. An adult can literally influence a child to be something that
I
they're
know.
not
And
so
and
easily.
I know a lot of the people that are so into this like overly woke movement and stuff. They had like really sad experiences
I
growing up,
know.
and
I
I
know.
understand. I understand they don't want that to happen to the new generation of people because they
Yeah,
don't. But it's like agreeing with delusion and being affirming of everything is not the
it's
solution.
sick.
We
It's
we are seeing it now with all these gentle parenting kind of kids that grew up and now they don't know what to do with their lives.
I
They don't
know.
know.
I
Gentle
know.
parenting. I believe in tough love. I believe that you can say someone and you can and I, after the person is old enough to make their own decisions, like you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. But when
Yeah.
if I was educating someone, if I was
Yeah.
like and trying to tell the way I think, I wouldn't tell people, oh yes, transition, block your puberty.
That's
It's
crazy.
gonna be beautiful. It's a beautiful mind space to be. You're gonna be in a
It's
safe
crazy.
space because your community is always gonna be there for you, and we're always going to accept you because we're seeing the consequences of
Oh
what
yeah.
that is of
Oh
always
yeah.
being so affirming to everything, and then when this 22-year-old kid goes out on the real world and sees that the world is not going to be accepting,
That's right.
he tried to find who was guilty. He tried to find the responsible, and this kid like killed Charlie Kirk
I know.
when it's
Totally.
when he was just another messenger. And there's always going to be people that don't agree with you.
100%. And on that note, Giselle, you're a beautiful human being. I really do care about you, and I feel like you're part of my family. And we're going to build a great platform for you. And I would love everybody. What's your YouTube channel? What is it?
My
Say it.
YouTube channel is Giselle is trying, and if you want to put
Is
all my
trying.
yeah, Giselle is trying. I'm trying to understand this community. I'm trying to
I'll
not
put the
be
link.
again. That's the YouTube channel. If you want to see all my links, my Instagram, my Twitter, everything, it's
Yeah.
allmylinks.com/Giselle Driller.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna put everything in the chat description after we end here. I think that Giselle is Gisselle. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. in a
And
text
also,
message.
I just want to put it here so people can see. Let me see
Oh,
if it
okay.
went. Okay, but anyway, I'll put it as a thing. Everybody, if you can, let's help her get into this platform because we need her voice to help save the children, and also, help her kind of move into another direction in the next part of her life. And I think everybody's so gracious. I love the people who follow me and subscribe to my channel. They're all just amazing, beautiful humans. And I want to remind us all to send a lot of love to Charlie Kirk's family. And I just really get a little bit emotional when I think about it. So I'm going to end with that. And I'll see you guys all on the next Wednesday's live. And I'll be releasing a couple new videos soon. So thanks everybody for the support of the channel. I do appreciate you so much. And thanks, Giselle, for what an amazing conversation. Thank you for
Thank you
spending
so
the day.
much, and I'm sorry if I hurt someone's feelings. That's not my intention. My intention is always to be nice, but with common sense. Like,
You didn't hurt anyone's feelings here. Trust me, they love you. It's
you.
not that place. So, okay, everybody. I'll see you. You're funny. I'll see you guys all on the next one. So,